So I just watched Happy Gilmore 2, directed by Kyle Newacek and written by Tim Herlihy and Adam Sandler. Before I get into the new one, though, I should say what I thought of the original. Absolutely love it. It is one of my favorite Adam Sandler films. There's probably only like one or two Adam Sandler films that I think are better, but like, yeah, that one's just so funny. It's easy and it still manages to be likable and tell a good sports story. It's just a really good movie. And going into Happy Gilmore 2, I had absolutely no expectations for this. Did not think it would be good because most of Sandler's like Netflix comedies have not been very good. So I just thought, you know what? As long as it's like all right, I'll walk away like not liking it, but at least like satisfied enough. And now that I've seen it, it did not really meet those expectations. Like, I don't know if I can say it was bad. It wasn't quite like bad per se, but it definitely was not like anywhere near as good as the original. And if it never existed, I think we wouldn't really be missing anything. So I'll start with the positives. This will not be too long, but like I will list some of the positives. I would say in terms of comedy, I laughed like once every 5 minutes or so, which like again I know sounds bad, but like when you compare this to some of Adam Sandler's other films, like it is more than I've laughed at some of like his absolute worst ones. Like I will say one cameo in particular, close to the end of the movie, that made me laugh like really hard. Like that was easily the highlight of the film for me. Shooter McGavin, I actually thought was done pretty well in this. Like, not only was Christopher McDonald like entertaining as always, he was doing a great job, but also I like what they ended up doing with his character. Like again, without getting into spoilers, they end up like they don't just bring him back to have him do what he did in the first one again. They actually try and evolve him a little bit, which I do like. I appreciated that. Both of Adam Sandler's daughters are in this as different characters, and I thought they were both all right. Like they wouldn't make it in like a super serious film, but like for the kind of acting you would expect from Happy Gilmore 2, I thought they were all right. They had some good scenes with Sandler. I thought so it was nice to see. The directing and editing during like the training montages and during like the quick cut montages of Happy playing golf, I thought those were decent. Most of the directing in this is kind of just standard comedy directing, but like they actually had some like good directing and editing during like any of the montages they had of the training or golf. And I do like how this film does kind of try and pay tribute to golf a little bit. Like the original, they didn't like it was just kind of a goofy comedy, so they didn't really feel the need to stick up for golf. But this one does kind of do that. Not only does like Happy Gilmore, the character, kind of try and stick up for golf against like the new maxi golf that the villain of the movie's trying to create, but also they have a lot of cameos from like both golfers of today and golfers from like the classic era, which was nice. And like, yeah, they had some like cameos from golfers in the original, but not too many. But the ones they have here, you can tell they're trying to pay a bit more respect to golf, which was kind of nice. And in terms of positives, I think that's it. So let's get to the negatives. And this was easily the worst part of the film. Killed it. This was what killed it the most for me. The number of callbacks and references to the original are out of control here. Like there are so many jokes that are just meant to be funny because it's a thing that they said or a thing that they did in the original, and they're doing it again, and that's why you're supposed to laugh. And it never works as well as it did the first time. Like, and not only that, they will literally just insert clips from the original into this movie. And it's done the same way it would be done in like a YouTube video reviewing this film because it's like they just like a scene will be happening and then they'll just slap a scene from the original in there with like the music and different way it's shot, and it's just it comes right the heck out of nowhere most of the time, and it's just there to be like, hey, remember this from the original? Well, we're gonna either do that, we're gonna reference that, at some point. So we got to remind you. We got to remind you. Which again, it's like how good are the references in this film where it's like we feel the need to remind the audience that this was in the original before we reference it. Otherwise, they won't get it. Which that's just sad. I'm not even kidding. There are times they'll play clips from the original seconds before they reference that same thing they just played a clip of. Like, again, if you've watched the trailers, you know that Ben Stiller's character from the original is in this. And there is a scene where he's like pointing to his name tag and he's like, "You're in my world now." And they don't want you to forget that was in the original, so they insert a clip from the original film of him saying, "You're in my world now, Grandma." Then immediately cut to this film, and he's going, "You're in my world now." And it's like it's insane how little they think of their audience. Like they're clearly trying to hook them in off their left of the original, but they also think, "Oh, they might not remember this is from the original. We got to remind them." Again, I don't want to get into spoilers, but what they do with Virginia, the love interest from the original, it's kind of insulting, honestly. And the way that what happens with her affects Happy, and what happens to Grandma's house as a result of all this. It's just kind of like it's one of those things where it's like, oh, the first movie was for nothing. That's great, which is just again kind of insulting. Like it definitely ruins the happy ending of the original a lot. Most of the acting in this, I said that Sandler's daughters were all right. Most of the acting in this is like all right. There's not a ton of acting that I would say is bad, except Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny has a larger role here, and he's awful. Like he feels so out of place with this film. Like it's like you edited in a character from a different film into this one for no reason. He doesn't gel at all. He's not an exact copy of a character from the original, but they're clearly trying to make a character similar to that. And he's not comparable at all. He's nowhere near as good as that character was. He's not funny. He's never funny in this. And this is going to sound weird, but his face looks like they deep faked Bad Bunny's face onto a different body. It's really weird and jarring to look at. I'm trying not to be that mean when it comes to appearances, but it just bothered me the entire film because that he was in. Chubb, and of all the characters in the film, the most pointless one I would say is Chubbs' son. It's like you literally only had him here so you could have again a reference to the original. And you obviously can't have Carl Weathers, not only because the character Chubbs died in the original, but also because Carl Weathers himself sadly passed away. So they bring in his son, and it's entirely pointless. He adds basically nothing. And it is beyond ridiculous, this is probably the worst callback to the original, that he also has a wooden hand. He has a wooden hand just like his dad, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And it's not like I chopped off my hand to be like my dad, which that might at least be kind of funny. But like, yeah, the reason his hand is gone is just stupid. It's like this character is pointless. I don't know why they're here. The maxi golf that I mentioned earlier, they have that at the end of this movie. It's the climax. It's honestly dumb. Like it's just dumb. I thought based on how they were building it up, I thought, oh, it's going to be like some kind of extreme version of mini golf, like but the obstacles are like bigger and they have more extreme like twists and turns in the course. I thought, okay, that could be at least kind of interesting, but no, it's like what they end up doing with it. It's kind of like if you combined regular golf with Double Dare or Minute to Win It. It's just and the rules make no sense. They just make up stuff as they go, which I guess is kind of supposed to be the point, but also it's like, okay, how am I supposed to be invested if nothing is consistent or makes sense? And they completely ignored the whole message from the original. Like, remember how Happy was only able to like really golf well when he was in his happy place? Like they start the movie doing that, but then by the end they completely ignore that. And the resolution is he actually plays better when they do things to make him mad. Like he envisions characters in the film that he doesn't like on the ball and he's able to hit it harder. And it's like, okay, well, which one is it? Is he supposed to be happy or is he supposed to be angry? Like, this movie is like telling a complete different message than the original. There's a lot more that I could say in terms of like all of the ridiculous callbacks, but I don't really feel like like Lilo and Stitch, the live action one, I felt the need to like go into every single thing they messed up, but this one, not really. I feel like I can just leave it at there's a bunch of callbacks and references to the original, and none of them work. As is, like I said, it's not the worst, definitely not the worst Sandler film, and not really the worst comedy either. It's obviously nowhere near as good as the original, though, and I will definitely never watch this again. If you like the original and you have a Netflix and you're just like, you know what, I just want to see Happy Gilmore again, I don't really need it to be good. I just want to see him again, and that'll be enough for me, then I guess go ahead and watch it. But I feel like most people just will be sitting there thinking, man, I wish I were watching the original right now. And I'm going to give this movie a D. And if I can just leave you on the weirdest cameo in the film, Haley Joel Osment is in this. It feels really kind of weird because I don't know what kind of movies he's typically in, but this feels like really out of place in his filmography. And I won't spoil who he is, but like it's just when I first saw him, I was like, this is kind of weird, and he sticks around too, which is very surprising. So those are my thoughts on Happy Gilmore 2. Be sure to subscribe to see more reviews like this in the future. If you've seen the film, let me know what you thought down in the comments below. And on that note, I will see you next time. Have a great day.